Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sama. I'm Derek Mazzoni, and this is based in Seattle, and it is focused on sacred and healing music from all over the world. Thanks for being here. I called it this because it's a live stream, but we also edit these videos and we put out audio. It's an interesting place of sharing as much of global culture as possible. We have a special Sama session today. It's going to be pretty radical because it's my first Indonesian artist, and it's somebody I've known for a while. We're actually friends, associates. She's come through Seattle playing with her partner Gray, goes by Filastine. Her background is really intriguing. It covers everything from hip hop to acoustic singer, songwriter, political activist, life artist in many respects. Her name is Nova Ruth. I should have brought her name up first. Her name is Nova Ruth, and she's amazing and super jazzed that we have her here right now. And I want to start, as always, with an example of her music. Then we'll talk to Nova. We have some great footage of her life in Indonesia. She's been on a boat. She's living in a really fascinating island, and she set up a cafe. There's a foundation involved. This is dreamlike in many respects. Nova Ruth on Sama.
Mlebu jroning sukses Sama semesta
Nova Ruth, welcome to Sama.
Hello, thank you.
Thanks for being here. Really appreciate that. That was a beautiful video, and there was a lot going on there. I know a little bit about what's the environmental destruction that's going on in Indonesia
Mhm,
right now on the
mhm.
islands, and I haven't seen something that evocative in a while, and I'm curious if there's so much to talk about. But let's start with that video. What is the title mean exactly, and what were you trying to convey with 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 the video? What was happening here? Please share.
Okay, thank you, Derek. Well, first, very nice to see you here, and thank you for
Great
this
to see you here.
opportunity.
Oh, thank you for
Um,
letting us premiere that. I've totally forgot.
yeah, that's the
Yay!
premiere on the
Thank
net.
you. On the net.
um, Imbang is actually was well that time I was separated from Gray for a long time because he was in the Pacific and then I was in Malang. Um, that time I was in Malang, and I was thinking it was like, oh, maybe I should start learning how to produce my own music, electronically, like the whole production. That was on the pandemic time. I was like, oh, trying to find out what is the meaning of this, right? Being apart from the project that I loved, from the person that I love as well. Um, and then like having so much negative informations about the pandemic, but at the same time, actually, the nature was taking a break from a lot of destruction because of that. So imbang literally means balance.
Okay.
So yes, imbang literally means balance. So and but then that time, even though I was separated from my project that we've been investing time and energy, that time I was meeting a lot of friends in Malang, like the young people that went back home from big cities like Jakarta, Surabaya, and they decided to spend time to go back to their family house. And apparently there was Jovian, which is a really great video maker that I usually won't be able to get to know him if it's not pandemic.
Uh-huh.
But because of pandemic, then he went back home. I went back home as well to Malang. So then we decided to create this video.
That's a great story. So, in many ways, the pandemic has shut down the constant churn of
Hmm.
capitalism, and that could manifest itself in that imagery where you saw lush jungle and then the excavator,
Yeah,
stopped at that
yeah,
particular moment.
yeah.
Let's go back for a second. The island of Malang. Tell us more about that, because it's like when, first of all, Indonesia is many, 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 many
Hmm.
thousands and thousands of
Hmm.
islands, um, and the fact that people are moving back from the churn, and would you say getting into more balance with their lives by being home, by being closer to the
Hmm.
land, or am I projecting?
Hmm. Um, well, Malang is in the island of Java.
Hmm.
Like it's a very small part of the island. It's on the east part of Java. But well, like the relation with the pandemic, of course, like we suddenly, gather with the family and all that. But there is also like another thing, which is there are like the economic situation is completely, trash.
Hmm.
But because because we have communal lifestyle. We always sharing. So, for example, in my family, nobody is starving, or even in my foundation, nobody is starving because we decided to share, right? Like whatever we have, we share it. So there is more like the sharing culture is even more intensified that time, and then also a lot of creative efforts and also compromise is also happening. For example, in my cafe lagi pahit, I really don't like plastic, right? It's like I don't like plastic, I don't like plastic. But then that time I have to shut down the cafe and I have to sell things online. And I cannot put it on like the spices are like very sometimes it's sharp, and if it's on paper it will break, Then I have to, oh no, I have to use plastic, but trying to tell that you can reuse this plastic, like creatively, even though I have to do that with compromission, but I still try to educate people to reuse the plastic.
Got
So
it.
there are a lot of creative ideas as well that
Got it.
happen because of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Mm.
circumstances force you. So you're
Yeah.
busy, obviously. You have a foundation. You have been spending a lot of time on a boat traveling around the Pacific. Now you're
Hmm.
learning how to make electronic music, and you're singer, songwriter, and you started a cafe. There's
Yeah.
and now an online business selling this stuff. That's a
Hmm.
lot going on. That's amazing. So, I'm impressed. My daughters will be impressed once they get to know you. Tell me your story. Like, how did this come about? How did you that's fascinating. Because I knew
Hmm.
you as a performer. When I first met you, you came by KXP, and then I knew you through Gray. But there's so much more in what you're doing. Your bio says life artist, and you definitely are treating your life like a work of art. But it's many more. It's not more than a canvas, because you have a foundation, you have this cafe, you're bringing people in, you have a sense of community. Tell me more about you. Like, how did this all come about to where we are now?
Um, I'm more like an intuitive person, yeah. Like if I have to do, if I have a problem, then I have to fix it intuitively. Let's say it's like that. And also, I never have My parents separated since I was very little, but they're still good friends. But I never have them force me to to do something or to become someone that they never try to shape me as a person, but they just let it flow naturally. So I never had any choice in life that was being forced by my parents. So in the end, I ended up like having a lot of dreams, right? Like
Hmm.
since I was a little, when in school they ask you, what is your dream when you grow up, what do you want to be? But everybody trying to find like the coolest what you call it, like profession, right? Like
Hmm.
doctors, pilot, whatever. But I said I wanted to become a singer that time. So it never changed until now.
No.
And then yeah, so and then I really like coffee. I i have this belief that through coffee and conversations, a lot of ideas came out of them. So I had a dream that I have a small cafe to accommodate that. And then I also had this kind of feel restless because in my hometown there was no more space to express yourself, like your original works. Like if you're a singer, then you work in a cafe and you sing top 40, something like that. So I had that kind of a problem that, okay, why don't I make my own cafe and sing whenever I want, if I want to sing. So everything started from dream and believing in that dream, and just kind of intuitively do things step by step to realize those dreams, including Arka Kinari as well is the same like that.
Okay. So you're a
Yeah.
manifester. You like alchemically. As I've been doing Sama, now for a year under COVID. I'm experiencing, usually I would be there, they'd be here, unfortunately it's not happening. But there are certain artists that kind of wait, and there are artists that manifest. I call them alchemists, where they're like, I'm going to take these pieces and going to make something happen. Let's hear some music. First of all, I want to show a video that you shot on your boat. What's the name of the boat?
Arka Kinari.
Arka Kinari, there it is. Okay. And what's the name of your foundation?
It's called Lintas Batas.
Okay.
Lintas Batas means like kind of cross borders, something like that. Like cross disciplinaries, cross ages, a lot of things. Yeah.
We could have a multi-day conversation, but I want people to hear you sing. And first, I want to see this. Now, this is a particular coffee ritual. Before I show this video, what do you mean by coffee ritual? What is the thing that happens?
I have this non-coffee phase in the morning before coffee.
Okay.
So I couldn't start anything before that. So I need to have this ritual. But I kind of have this idealism in coffee that I need certain type of coffee. I need certain type of milk. I need certain type of tools. So without that, I got a little bit grumpy. So I need to start my day perfectly with that ritual.
Perfect. Okay, I'm going to show this coffee ritual, and then do you want to play one of the videos we have of you, or you want to play right now here?
I can play Perbatasan.
Okay,
since
perfect.
We're talking about borders.
Perfect. Okay, we're going to show this video of you creating your coffee ritual. Jealous that you have one right now. Just buy me the coffee. Thank you. And then we're going to have you perform live. Thank you. Nova Ruth on Sama, Sales Circuit Music and Art.
Kayaknya lucu gitu. Belum ada yang ngambil angle ini. Tuh kan, bangkit. Kan ada ini juga Gun. Kayak temperatur itu loh. Terus kalau gitu kok. Mantap enggak? Nanti kalau udah datang semua alatnya.
That's perfect. I need to know one quick thing. Why pour over and press? Is it because you're on a boat and it's the easiest way for the best flavor, or is that just what you discovered?
I don't need any electricity to do that because it's all manual. Yeah, we have very, very limited energy on board. We have solar panel. It's like 3,300 watts. But we always have to be careful because when the fixing happen, they need grinder. They need adjust more to those kind of.
Yeah. Oh, totally true. You don't know what you have until it's gone, and then you're like, "What am I wasting my energy on?" Okay. Nova Ruth on Sama, Sales Circuit Music and Art. What's the name of the song?
Perbatasan.
Perbatasan. What does it mean? Oh, it's the no borders, no borders. The name of the foundation.
Yes.
You have a song for your foundation. I'm impressed. Okay, here we go.
Di antara kekacauan dunia, kehancuran di mana-mana, kepercayaan hilang, musnah. Kau dan aku berlari menuju entah dikejar saudara sendiri. Ha, 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 Kau dan aku berlari, berlari mencari-cari sepi, jauh dari riuh mesin pembunuh, membunuh apa saja tak peduli, apa saja tak peduli, salah benar tak tahu siapa yang salah atau benar, salah atau benar. Kau dan aku lari dari perang ke harapan yang tak pasti. Harapan yang tak pasti, harapan
Thank you, Nova. That's beautiful. You have a lovely voice.
You.
Did you know that you had a lovely voice pretty early? Some people, they're like, they start singing, and you're like, yeah, okay. And some are like, whoa, hey, there's something going on there. And it's interesting because your voice also, I hear music from Java, and you have that inflection, which is very, to me, very emotive. It's a little like, whoa, where are you taking me here? What's going on? And last week we had a Ethiopian Coptic group, and there's a different kind of rhythm, and it's if you're 4/4, it's disorienting, and it's beautifully disorienting because it's like I'm feeling something different here. Tell me about Java. Tell me about Indonesia. Tell me a little bit about the music.
Indonesia is the place for extreme beauty and extreme ugliness. But
Okay.
the extreme ugliness, like the extractions and all that, they are never been exposed. Yeah, of course, it's not something that we really proud of. But apart from that, like, there's still, now I live partly in Bali, and it's very interesting to see there that the culture and the tradition is still very well taken care of and spread and nurtured, that's like the small example that what we have in Indonesia, yeah, because we have more than 300 traditional mother tongue languages as well. It means there are different customs and traditions according to that. Like, for example, me in Malang here and in Surabaya, which is we speak kind of similar language but slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
We already have completely different habit, yeah. So it's very diverse place.
That's what I've heard, and the focus of Sama is on a sacred and healing and traditions. And when you have a place with that many traditions, you have a lot of knowledge that can be used,
Yeah.
leveraged to help people get through difficult times. Um,
Mm,
when um, when I started doing Sama, it was the concept was to you've been to Seattle, you know how far away Seattle is from
mm,
any place in the United States, and I
mm,
was like, I wanted to bring in artists from different parts of the world here because we need them. We need to see these traditions, and I was. As I'm doing more of this, I'm seeing like, wait, these traditions and these musics actually help people get through hard times. We're all going through pandemic right now globally, so we're all going through
mm,
hard times. And what do you leverage to make yourself feel better? To help you through this. And music seems to be very powerful, and the traditions around it seem to be very powerful. And so when I was looking at your videos, listening to the music, learning a bit more about the diversity of Indonesia, and also the beauty. And when you have that kind of beauty, and you have that kind of you have a lot of there that helps you through these hard times. You have a connection. I saw that in your first video, Imbang. You have a connection with nature that you know when you're out of balance. You fundamentally know. You're going to die eventually sooner than you should, and two, you're not living a good life because you're just not living in synergy
mm,
with what's going on around you. And I don't want to get overly philosophical right now, but what the hell, it's my show, why not? um, we're seeing this in the world. We're seeing this that just this hard driving capitalist, like we must get more. It's not fucking
mm,
working. It's just like where it's like there's the cliff. We're all gonna go off of it. So
yeah.
we need to move a different way, and that's globally. But there's already traditions and cultures that live with that balance. You were talking about Bali, which is actually a Hindu culture, and it's
Mm,
like, I'm not going to say one is better than the other, but it's an
yeah.
interesting way where it's like you got to live in balance, and if you don't, it's the end of you. So I'm just
Mm,
curious, is
mm,
it like as you're spending time and exploring, we brought this up with people moving back, the churn of capitalism isn't destroying the forests on Borneo as much as it was last
yeah.
year.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if there's hope, um, even in your country, where it's like, hey, what's going on? In some countries, it's not because the corruption is so
Mm,
freaking embedded, where it's just like it's going to take some serious work. And here in the
mm,
states, went through some rather interesting difficulties.
mm.
But I'm curious, is that you're there, you're in this space, you're an artist, you're creating stuff. Are you seeing things that give you a sense of hope, or is it too early to say?
I do actually. I do. And it's very interesting because I found it out for me if like things doesn't change like 1 kilometer's radius of where I am, you know, I kind of feel like it's like, oh, this is like my failure to defend like the nature. Oh, not defending the nature, but it's like to become part of the nature than defending themselves. Um but when I was in Malang, then I started to meet the young people who is very focused on like environmental issue. For example, there is Koalisi Liar, they call it. Is a wild coalition, which is they are focused on wild plants
Mm-hmm.
and what's the benefit of eating wild plants. And there is like a space that not far from Malang, but a little bit on the outskirts of Malang, which is trying to taking care of Patirtan, which is the old pool for like kings and queens from like I don't know from the first not first yeah first century, something like that.
Okay.
But they're taking care of it, but they're all really young, and then they focus on vegan food, and they accept people, and everything is by donation. So things like that I discovered last year, 2020, and it was for me it's like a big change, yeah, because
Okay.
I've been living in Malang my whole life, and I didn't really see that on 2015,
Okay.
or I was like the only band on the year of 2000 who was making music about environmental issues in Malang. So for me, it's relieving to discover that like lots of young people, they are about 20-year-old to 25-year-old, something like that.
And
So there's hope.
that's beautiful because I'm seeing that worldwide, and so it feels like maybe they won't be co-opted. Maybe
Mhm.
they can see that it's all part of the same world, and then we're going to be here. Wow, this is more hopeful than I thought. Okay, let's
Yeah.
go to another. Let's go to another song. But I want to show this video of you onboarding because
Sure.
right now the Arka Kinari is having an engine refitted, shall we say, and then
Mhm.
so you're on land. But there's an onboarding process, and it's also intriguing because I've been following the story, and it's like when you're on a boat, that's all you bring, and you guys aren't like going on a lake, and back again, or even in a sound. You're going out, and you're there for a while. So we're going to do
Mhm.
onboarding, and then we're going to hear another song. What song will you be playing for us?
Um, maybe Phenomena.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. This is Nova Ruth, Sama, Sales Circuit Music and Art, onboarding.
The water is going that way. Well,
That's beautiful. Nice to see Gray. He's looking fit. It looks like the sailor life agrees with him. Very good. Very good. Tell him I say hi.
yes, I will.
And let's hear a song, please. Nova Ruth.
Okay. Surga ada di bumi, tak perlu ku berlari, senandung memuji, seperti air takkan berakhir. There's a fire made of gold underneath the willow tree, burning white, burning red, till the ashes of death that become a melody. Setiap nafas ini syukurku dalam hati, dan bayu berhembus perlahan menembus kalbu bisikan rindu. And the murmur of this heart which you speak within the earth. Indriya upama utama artaya akumu akame
I muted myself. Haha. uh, that was beautiful. Tell me what the song's about, please. I mean, I heard
That
there's
was
the translations, but what's the song? What's the title of the song?
I was with actually I wrote it with Jessica Kenny. If you ever heard about her,
No, tell me who's Jessica.
Jessica Kenny actually she's also from Seattle, and she was singing for Filastine
Okay.
before I met Gray. Yes.
Okay.
But she's a really great singer, and she could sing dangdut and Javanese songs because she was in Indonesia for a couple of years, I think, and she was learning that. So I'm a big fan of her, and I tried to find her and finally met her when I was in Seattle, and we decided to make a song together. So we did this like psychic lyric writings, and we kind of like separate ourselves, and we have our own time, and then we wrote lyrics at the same time. But apparently when we see it, like how is the result is actually kind of almost the same meaning. So there
Wow.
was, yeah. So for us it was like, wow, like what is this? Like we kind of realizing that because we both kind of having this, our own spiritual level and understanding, and
Hmm.
apparently it's not that far off, So when we wrote that song, it's about how we kind of having this deep meditative state when we're singing. So for me, it's like singing is like praying as well, right? Like I found myself more focused when I was singing. So this is like, wow, this is a new phenomena that that we can do this. Like we can find out like the same frequency with somebody that I just knew. Yeah, so that's phenomena.
My friend John, who I do sama with, also says the same thing. Singing is like a form of praying, and
Mm.
it's beautiful to hear that manifest. You sing well. I'm not, I hear a lot of singers, but you're the combination of your inflection, your ability, and everything. There is this something that you want to. You're busy. You could, foundation. You're on a boat. You make your own coffee with electricity. There's a lot there, and then suddenly go like, I'm going to be a singer too. Um, but you want to, is this something, is this like the next manifestation of your artwork? You feeling like the energies are pushing you there right now, or pulling you?
Well, I told you that my first dream was to become a singer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the other professions are the add-ons, basically. Like having, yeah, like having to organize things and all that is after singing. For me, is after singing. Yeah,
Okay.
because that's like I've been singing. I've been on stage since I was 6, basically.
Yeah.
So I have already like I have already know how it feels, like the complexity to be on stage, like either the receptions of the audience or the rejections. I have already
You've gotten through it
processed
all.
all of that for my whole life, so for more than 30 years. So that's like the things that I do naturally, but other things are kind of add-ons.
Got it. Got it. But let's talk a little bit. I want to hear. I have this great video shot by. We talked about this a little while ago, but this black and white video of an audience reacting to you, and they're having the same reaction that I am, which is lovely. We're going to hear that a little bit. But you are busy. You have a foundation. Tell me a little about the foundation, because um,
Mm,
the kind of life you're leading right now is the kind of life
mhm.
that people want to support. And so let's
Yeah.
find a way for them to support you and the work that you're
Mhm.
doing. Uh, Tell me about the foundation, how it started, and where is it, and
Yeah.
how can people help support it?
Ah, so the foundation is about art and activism because we believe that art is kind of the front line of every kind of movement. We believe as well that although the position is very temporary in movement, right? Because they're in the front line, but we believe that is very important part. So there is not much organization that focus on the artist itself, like
Hmm.
the cultural people itself, because sometimes I don't know, like there are a lot of environmental organizations, they treat artists like kind of they buy something in the supermarket, right? Please
Hmm.
draw me something that related to the climate change or something like that.
Hmm.
But there's like not much realizations that there actually a lot of artists already having that passion, like me or Gray, or I have many friends that have passions in becoming some activists in their own life.
Hmm.
So this organization is for this foundation is to support that. The idea was because Arka Kinari is a very unique project, and we were like not sure that any type of organization will accept us easily, right? Like will collaborate with us easily, because it's kind of shocking in a way, and and I was like intuitively like, okay, we should make this foundation to be able to run Arka Kinari in Indonesia specifically, and becoming like the pilot project of the foundation. And I was right, because Indonesia at that time when Arka Kinari entered Indonesia was like dealing with too many shocks, which is the pandemic and the project that is so unique, because there is like no project like that a boat self-sustain has its own system for a performance, and also a living space as well. So yeah, this foundation is for that, and I was hoping that this pilot project, which is Arka Kinari, can become inspirations for like my friends that helping me out in these foundations, and can have like lots of projects that's similar. Can be small, can be bigger than Arka Kinari, but I want it to be like sustain.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels like um, it's part of your life, but not like as in like I'm carrying it, as in like this is just for what I would do, like the way you're making your coffee in the morning. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're making your coffee, you're making this foundation, you're making Arka Kinari. It's just like, some people can do that. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, it's not like I'm going to do something else. This
Mm-hmm.
all has to be part of the way I'm living my life, and the way you,
Yeah.
you described yourself. When I was saying I was going to interview you as a life artist, it was like what the hell is a life artist? It's like, well, watch this, and then you'll know, because here's this manifestation. Okay, we're going to watch this quick video, and then we're going to hear another song. Do you want to
Mm-hmm.
do the song that's in the video, or do you want to do something else?
I do want to show the video that I made on the boat
Yeah, let's do that. Okay,
because
which one?
yes, because I was Murka, either Murka or Imbang, it's okay. But because the kitchen, the galley, we call it, the galley is a very sacred space for me, because I like to cook there and I know like I can determine the emotional states of my crew, yeah, state of my crew by how good is the food.
Oh,
So when the food is good, then everybody was so happy. The day was becoming really beautiful and all that. So that's why I created this video inside the galley.
okay, perfect. We're gonna watch. This is Motka, which is also the name of my first cat. Ah,
Ah,
yeah, 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 yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Okay. Um, Nova Ruth, Ansama, Silo Second Music and Art.
Ungkang murka atine ra duwe ati uripe ra berarti dijompa-jampi dunia orang ngerti suarga sopo tadi dalang sing lali sedulur papat limo panjang iso nyekel wayang ora iso dadi panutan lan pageh bumi gonjang kanjeng langit kemarelap urip ketunian wong cilik rati anggap mikir weteng atine peteng urip ketaten sing penting ati seneng.
recorded live on the Arka Kinari, Nova Ruth. That was beautiful. That's a fun little instrument you got going on there.
Yeah, that's an ukulele but electric. It's
Ah,
easier
perfect.
to carry around. Yeah.
No, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. And you can accomplish a lot. Quick question.
Mhm.
Okay, first off, we'll have links to the foundations
Yeah.
and everything in just a little bit. And but I wanted to, and the boat, how it's a big boat. It
Yes.
sound like a commercial. It's a big
Mhm.
boat. But how big is your crew? In order to, for you to go out, is it something it could be just two people, or do you actually have to have like, 4 or 5 to make it work?
Well, the captain said that it could be run by one person. Yeah, it's big, but somehow the sales system, they are so modern. Their schooner
Mm-hmm.
that you can actually, if you really understand about boats, then you can run it by yourself. But so far we have including me and Greya, 6 to 9 people.
Mm-hmm.
Like depends on like what kind of activities and the route. Like the Pacific crossing, the Atlantic and Pacific, it was 6 people maximum, because we're thinking about the food, like the provision for everybody. More than 2 weeks is like impossible to bring more than that. But on short trips like in Indonesia, we took until I think 10 people once. Yeah, because there's a
Okay,
video maker. Yeah.
that's beautiful. And how'd you find it?
Oh, it's a long story. Because what we wanted was to build a pinisi ship, which is from Indonesia, from Sulawesi. But we found a lot of like, we have a kind of inner conflict to get that, because it's from wood, it's from ironwood, and ironwood is very scarce at the
Yeah.
moment. You cannot find it that much anymore, and then we cannot make the what you call it, the mast from wood, because there is not much mast as tall as that. There's not much tree as tall as that anymore in the world. I don't know, maybe not in the world, at least in Indonesia. So we decided to shift plan and trying to find the boat. So what we did was like, every time we have a gig in one place, so we are trying to find information about ships around that area.
Mm-hmm.
So we scouted from Sydney until Ibiza. So in the end, we found it in Holland, in the
Really?
Netherlands. Yeah,
Where in Holland?
it's a place called IJmuiden, which is on the
Okay.
north of Netherlands. And then we took it, we sail it to Rotterdam and do a lot of fixing, put solar panel and make it more seaworthy. And at the same time, we also designed the performance. So it was like kind of two things, two projects at the same time.
At the same time, what a fascinating project. And then you sailed it to
Yeah.
Indonesia.
Yes. Yes. We went
Wow.
through we went through English Channel, and then we went to the south, which is to Canary Islands, and
Hmm.
then crossing the Atlantics, and then to where was it? And then I met them again, because I only joined until Tenerife in Canary Islands, and then I met them again in Aruba, and then we crossed the Panama Canal going up to Mexico. Then they crossed the Pacific. The crew crossed the Pacific by themselves, plus Gray
Wow.
time.
Wow. Wow. You're living the
Yeah.
kind of life that people only dream about. You get that a lot, obviously. But it's the fact that you're able to do this and that you're
Mm.
able to sustain yourself and yet give back, which is so beautiful and so, in many ways, really inspiring. So, Nova, thank you for sharing your time. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing your story, and thank you for sharing your life. And it's such a beautiful life to have. And I always say this, but it's just true. This is just the beginning. I want to
Mm.
continue this, and I want to have more of uh, of this magic that you guys have been able to put together. And also, you're Indonesian, and And I want to, and even within that, you're Japanese, and there's like, there's there were a bunch of different kingdoms and different cultures. As you said, the 300 languages. So there's so much more to learn and to share with the world, because more people need to know more about the beauty and the subtlety, so that we can save it before it goes away. Because as to your analogy with ironwood, there used to be a lot of ironwood. We don't have it much anymore, and it's like once it's gone, it's gone. So let's figure out a way how we can make that work, to save it. So I would love. We have a lot of videos, and we're running out of time right now. But I want to play. If you have one more song in you, that's great. If you don't, we can. I want to play that black and white video of you performing, because it is such a great way to kind of show what you're actually able to offer to an audience. So inevitably, we will have shows, and people will come, and they'll have that magic moment when they fall in love with you and they fall in love with each other. And then it's like, that's what happens with art and music. What say you? I sound like a pirate, right? I'm sorry right now.
Well, I said it's okay to show the black and white video. It's very beautiful anyway.
Mhm.
And then I'm sure we will have moments to meet again, and I can sing more
Perfect.
songs. I have
Perfect.
lots of
Thank you.
songs.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I can sing it anytime.
Perfect. Nova Ruth, thank you. I want to thank Benita, Dagmara, and April. I want to thank April for the great work. April won't be joining us for a while. She'll be back again. She's very busy, and because she's phenomenal. And next week I have Yusuf Hadif, who's a Syrian artist based originally from Aleppo, now living in Berlin, left in 2014 because of the war, and is creating really. You would like his work quite a bit, actually. But I'll share with you. And this is Sama, Seattle Sacred Music and Art. Be well, everybody.
Nama saya Nova Ruth, dadaan mau di sini. Benar-benar terima kasih untuk yang mengorganisir acara ini. Saya nggak tahu, masih belum tahu nyanyi berapa lagu, tapi yang jelas konsepnya kita ngobrol-ngobrol santai. Ngobrol-ngobrol santai.
Orek laku pilih laku, ojo sampai aku rumah